So while the tower is currently, or the mast, I call it a tower just to annoy you, is currently down, I want to run through the upgrades and how we're tackling this. So these are, hang on, let me open this up. Right, these are mast couplers from Barenco. It is the BE612HD. Heavy duty mast couplers. We don't really need heavy duty mast couplers, but I thought I'd go down this line anyway, just in case we did lose a guy once, and this might keep it upright, it might not, but anyway, I've got two of these. We'll go down, I'll show you the mast in a minute. And then this is quite interesting because when the mast tilts over, again I will show you this so you can appreciate the problem. This comes in, we've got bolts and all sorts of stuff here. When the mast tilts over, we've got no way of, well, we need some sort of swivel joint at the bottom. So this is a swivel joint. Why do I need that? Because if you were using just regular, lorry rope, I call it, poly rope, there's enough stretch that things would just kind of work, but we're upgrading this to Dyneema, which is the equivalent of steel. So we need everything to move in harmony. So we'd start off with a big shackle. Then we'll come around one of these swivel joints. We will shackle that to a guy spreader plate. So I have the top guy there and the bottom guy there, so everything comes off, because we need turnbuckles on each of these so we can tension everything, and then when the mast flips over, it doesn't all get twisted up. I just thought it all through, right? That's all. Now these are 6mm stainless. I had them cut for free because the supplier had some knocking around, and I put an order in for some production stuff anyway. And they said, we can do it in 6. I think I wanted 8mm, and they said, we can do it in 6. It'd take 10 minutes, so they did that for nothing. Right, let's go and have a look at the mast, which is currently down, which is ideal. So, the lorry rope is currently at 3 guy points using the Yaesu G something 65. These are the mast bearing things. All right, now these haven't slipped, which is blooming handy. So they're all torqued up nicely, so that's gone. Now the thing is, at the moment this mast is only a single steel followed by a single aluminium, and I'm trying to find a way of showing you the current mast coupling that I did, because originally this was just going to be a mast. So we have this little bit of fiberglass in the middle and these two old joiners. These aren't actually under any lateral or sideways tension, of course, because everything is guyed appropriately. I want to remove this and just put one heavy duty coupler here. This was insulated so that it never got in the way of 40 metres. As you'll see in a minute, it will never get in the way of 40 metres anyway, because this will be steel. Then we'll have one of those big heavy mast couplers. Then we have another steel up to the top here, which is currently where the Yagi is. That's steel to here. Another one of these mast couplers. And then this aluminium pole will do another 6 metres that way. It's pretty tall. I can't keep using this cheap lorry rope because eventually it will give way. And it'll all fall down and I'll get really pissed off, although it would be pretty easy to rebuild. So we've got Dyneema turning up. Well, I've already bought 200 metres of Dyneema. So let me get out of this spider's nest here of wires. So Dyneema doesn't really stretch. In fact, it has, I think, a 3% stretch before it breaks, so there's not a lot in it. So here is an example. I've got 200 metres of this stuff. This here is from the winch. Right now, you probably can't see, but it it's a softer feel than steel, but kind of as strong. Very strange. It just doesn't stretch, okay? So if it doesn't stretch, it means we've got weird and wonderful problems potentially happening, because at the moment it's constructed so it kind of does stretch it a little bit. But with the geometry as it is, and moving the pin on the hinge, this thing should come up and down without any stretch at all. I know it sounds funny, but I've got this pin should be in this location here, and that pin there is exactly the same height relative to gravity as every guide point. The guide points currently look like this. These are rated quite highly. I don't know if I've got to swivel these 90 degrees, I don't know. So that's what we're doing. And then we've got the G450, which weirdly enough, I'm surprised still works, but I had it lying around. We need to take this off and put the GS, what's it called, 2800 here. And I really need the side mount bearing, which we originally had, and I took off in a rush. But we need to do that. I don't want to ruin the 2800. I'll take the weight off the rotator itself and put it on one of these bearings, because I bought a couple more of these, because 3 of these isn't enough. We need 1 here and another 3 at the top. At the moment I've only got 2. All right, and then again this Dyneema, because this lorry rope is far too stretchy for this sort of thing. While I'm here, I can just inspect. These are quite easy to strip down, every 5 years or something, so we can dismantle the tower. But what I'll have to do to build the eyelets and everything is connect 4 Dyneema ropes of the right length, raise the tower up, and then measure exactly where the thimble needs to go. So I've got some stainless thimbles to go here. So the ropes are going to be ending, about 30 centimetres, about a foot away, because we've got all the contraption and spreaders and all sorts of stuff. This is a spring project, and I appreciate, look, there's 1,000 different ways of skinning a cat. I still maintain this is a very economical 60 metre, it'll be a 60-foot tower effectively, just under. Very economical indeed. The expensive bit is obviously a rotator, but you get that anyway. You'll have that problem anyway. There's various connectors, a bit of ropes, some shackles and everything else. The real expense actually is the joiners and the 065 Yaesu bearings. That's really, and a bit of hard graft, because I had to dig all this in. And just in case you weren't aware, these anchor points, there's 4 of them, they are literally exactly within a quarter of an inch accurate to make the whole thing square, but it is actually a 4 square as well. So we've got verticals coming off the top of all these. So this distance here, which was I think 7.39 meters or 38 meters, it's exactly there, 20 something, 30, nearly 30 feet to the base, was had to be absolutely accurate, so that when we put the Dyneema on, this whole contraption just went up and down, which we will do now. So here's the winch man, 3,000 pounds. I think that's 1,200 kilos. I don't think there's a model number on it, but it's 12 volts. Now we've got a battery in here. And I have got one of these 2.5 watt solar chargers for this. So what I do now is press both these buttons and the light should come on. There it is, we've got a red light. Right, in. Yep, lovely. Right, I'm going to winch it in. It's handy having this remote controller thing, I can tell you. I've got a board just supporting some of the weight. So let's get me rid of the board, unless it falls away. Nope. So if I stay out of the radius, I'll be safe. So we've got 3 sets of guys under tension. The 4th set, which is here, isn't. So I'm just making sure that these are free of various contraptions. I'm going to get out of the way again. Which is one of the reasons our 80-footer came down, because the guy I was with just took the tension off, and now 3 guys are under tremendous tension and 1 wasn't, and it started to collapse. So you got to take it easy on the way down. Right, I'm just going to walk around each of the guide points. I think this is only the 2nd time I've actually put it up. Just want to make sure I'm not over tensioning something here. Now these are rotating, but I need those special 2 each side, because these are the rotational shackles that I need. It looks good. I'll just walk down with you here. Right, now old timers will know that once it gets nearly to the top, we have to be careful. We're wobbling around a bit at the moment. And I'll show you why. Look, the weight of the falling derrick here starts to want to pull everything straight. We need a bit of what's the word? Sympathy. Do you know what I mean? You can't just, I don't believe, you should tackle these things head on and hard. Only because of my experience years ago with that, the time we had that 18 come down, 4 scaffolding bolts, 80. Alright, so I have plans actually to tidy this up as well. Because the falling derrick needs to end up much higher, so we've got all the turnbuckles and everything else, and then I'm going to put a single Dyneema from here to here. But anyway, we'll do that in the spring. That's the kind of last bit. So the only thing holding this up right now, apart from the winch is attached, but is now, so it can't fall over, but it's the weight of the falling derrick that's holding it. I have noticed that these side guys are quite slack, so I think what we'll do is we'll go around in a minute and do some tensioning. This is just some old mooring line I had knocking around. I quite like it. It's got a bit of spring in it. It's too long, but still works, you know. Right. Let's tension this back down. It has been up in, I think it was 55 mile an hour winds actually. So wet. I can still see. I'm actually tensioning up this side because I believe the tower, I mean, I could get the level out. I prefer to come out actually in the evening, just as it's getting dark, with a laser leveler, and then you can see very clearly what's what. Right, I'll do one at a time. Top one first. So these ones, these don't even very tight, because the only thing they're doing is just holding the falling derrick upright. I used to have visions of removing the falling derrick after I've done everything, but I find it easy just to leave it there, to be honest. So what I'm doing is just gauging. I'm just here, you see, right next to you, and the very top one on your left, or slightly to your left, the very top one needs a little bit more tension this side, so we will release it. I don't know if you'll notice on the film whether you can see any tensioning going on, but I might as well give it a go and just have a look, because these were a bit slack. I mean, they're not. It's probably about 10 pounds of force on each one. I'll just get these back ones as well. They're fine, actually. Good. All right, that's the tower up, and we are facing 310 towards the USA. And then this is the little toy for the lightweight 10 metre and VHF that we're doing. This will be 3 guys, so it'll be a triangular. And you may be wondering, well, how are you going to falling derrick? Because falling derrick, you need 4 guide points. Well, we'll put a couple of small temporary little concrete loops, you know, with a lifting eye in the ground, 90 degrees. Just to hold the mast steady while it's going up and down. They'll be temporary, as it's only for erection and deployment and putting away and that sort of thing. And then the G2800. Well, how are we going to rotate it? We don't use a traditional rotator controller. That's this thing here, which is software controlled, and we've got a pair of these, one for the 2800 and one for the 450. These are magnetic sensors. All right, so as the mast rotates, the software knows where the mast's pointing, and this will kick out more voltage one way or more voltage the other way by a 24 volt Meanwell power unit, which is on at the moment, been sitting in there. Not getting any noise from it, which is quite nice. The factory did say that I can parallel a pair of these OM modules, in which case I could put another one there, because radio 3 and 4, or our second VFO on each station, can't control any relays. I can parallel these two up. It'd be really cool. Just means you can transmit then on the vertical and listen on the 4 square on your other ear, which could be quite handy. So there we are. Hopefully that will give you an inkling of where that part of the field is going. Got a ton of stuff happening on this part of the field. That is the mast situation. And I'll tell you, it's looking really lovely. All right, that's it from me today. All the best. Enjoy your radio. Don't get too cold. It's now December here. Pleasant enough day, and I'm going to sneeze. It has been cold. It's been pissing down with rain. And ideally, I want to get that upgrade done for CQ WPX end of March, which will mean February time I've got to be out here doing this. It's about 8 weeks time, so I've got to get my skates on. All right, see you next time, guys. All the best. Bye for now.